Because I'm just going to hold it in one hand and I have written it also.
Go ahead, Maitri.
So anyway, let me start. Okay.
Lovely.
Hare Krishna. A strong feeling of appreciation to someone or something for what the person has done to help you. This is the Cambridge Dictionary meaning of gratitude. This is the material world definition of gratitude. Based on my very limited knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, through the classes and lectures, I will conclude that the scriptural reference to this word is far more encompassing and broader. I will begin my gratitude prayer in more or less a chronological order. All of them are equally important, though, and have played an important role in my spiritual journey. First, my family. I'm very thankful for being born in a very spiritual family. I'm forever grateful to my father who could read the Ramayana for hours together without thought of food or water. Vacations for us meant a temple visit. Thank you, Appa, for instilling this faith. To my mother, for as long as I can remember, every conversation, thank you for constantly pushing me to read the Bhagavad Gita. About 2.5 years ago, my Mandabuddhi realized its importance. You're willing to chant the verses anytime I call you. Thank you, Amma. To my Pati, my maternal grandmother, God's name. I still remember how you chanted till the very end with your gnarled fingers. This made me realize the importance of Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eve Kevalam. Thank you, Pati. To my Tata, who is a spiritual guru and had so many followers. For him, family and outsiders were all the same. You taught me the value of 5.18 of the Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vanaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shuni Chaiva Smapatecha, Pandita Samadarshinaha. To my sister, who always insists on going to one of the 108 Divya Desas when I visit Chennai. To my brother, who has been chanting the Vishnu Sahasranamam every day, come rain or shine, for constantly motivating me to at 4 a.m. every day to chant, or another cousin who has built a temple in Trichy, or an uncle who's decided to settle down in Srirangam. To my husband Shri and the boys Akash and Adit. Thanks for letting me be me and joining me in my prayers whenever you can. Reminds me of a Tamil proverb, Kamban Veetu Kattutrayum Kavipadam. Translation, even the mills of Kambar, who wrote the Kamba Ramayana, will be able to sing a poetry on God. This makes me realize that I need more Ahaipuki and Apratyata for you to follow this path. To all the gurus and acharyas, from the Ahobala Mutt into which I was born, to the Gaudiya Mutt that has been chosen for me, thank you for the valuable information that you've handed down to us from generation to generation. To Srila Prabhupada, for making the scriptures so readily available in a language that is engrossing and captivating, and to the countless devotees who made it available electronically. To Radhanath Swami, your book has been so inspiring that I don't want to complete it. And I'm keeping a few pages under it. To Vishaka Mataji, always wondered why I'm here in Gurgaon. There is nothing personally here for me. About 2.5 years ago, the realization came to me that I was destined to meet you, be a Sadhguru, or believing in this undeserving soul and keeping me on track. To Shupriya Mataji, I'm eternally indebted to you. Be it learning from you, Jayati Janani Vasu, or the Narasimha Kavacham, or the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, or beautiful explanation of the Srimad Bhagavatam in your divine voice. To my fellow Nandini Vriksha travelers, each of you motivate me in your own way to stay in this path. To conclude, I would say that in the beginning, as I said, I have a problem with the dictionary meaning because that says gratitude is only for someone or something. I believe it must be for everyone and everything. From everyone, we either learn what to do or what not to do. And for everything around us, I would like to rely on Sloka 3.12 of the demigods, who through Krishna provide us with everything from air to water to grace. And of course, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the cause of all causes, in whom everything rests. And here I would like to recall Sloka 7.7 of the Bhagavad Gita. Harataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya Mahi Sarvam.
Yoo-hoo! Wow!
But I would like to hear it once again. Nicely
Sure,
properly.
Yeah,
Saiji, please repeat it once more.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
we'll tell her.
When
She'll
she's
repeat in the
back-
Gita class. She'll repeat in the
Yes.
Bhagavatam class.
Yes, when she's back, she'll repeat it. It was
Yeah, I will do
Right.
that.
but the
So,
gist was too good.
Awesome.
thank you. It genuinely came from my heart. And that's why, I didn't want to miss when that opportunity was given to me. So I will definitely, repeat it again. Whenever,
The devotees,
you
we
want
need
me
to stay in the cities to save all those people who are seeking, all those YGs who are in the cities, who have so much of piety. अगर हम सबके सब अपने अपने घरों में बैठ जाएंगे, preaching नहीं करेंगे, तो who is going to reach out? Is it not? Who is going to हम भी कैसे आए? Some person took the trouble to do a class or to give a book. So marathon is coming. Each one of you has to distribute 100 books. 100 books minimum. ठीक है? चाहे आप अपने family, friends, this is our time to repay back to Srila Prabhupada. Each one of you. Please take a pledge. In fact, our Gurugram temple has come number 1 in book distribution in medium temples. They have got the trophy by Jayapataka Swami Maharaj as the temple with the most enthusiastic preachers and book distributors. We've done the highest count of Srimad Bhagavatam sets also. So Gita Marathon is not far. Like last year we had discussed, please make your list. Friends, family, acquaintances, neighbors. And we have to distribute minimum 100 books each. हमने last year किया है, so it's very much possible to repeat it again. We reached 1,000 plus last year. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes. So we will do that again. Now is our time to exert a little bit of step, little effort. Okay? Are we all ready?
कोशिश करेंगे.
Yes. Yes. We will work hard. Prabhupada will send us the sincere takers. Okay? We will be out there. Okay. So share screen. 1.2.16, right?
Yes.
Yes.
शुश्रूषोः श्रद्धधानस्य
शुश्रूषोः श्रद्धधानस्य
वासुदेव कथारुचिः
वासुदेव कथारुचिः
स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्राः
स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्राः
पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवनात्
पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवणात्
पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवनात्
पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवणात्.
Okay, thank you. Translation, do you want to read?
Okay, ma'am. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva.
Jai. So this verse is about This verse is about
Serving the devotees.
service, seva,
Service.
seva. By service, one gains affinity or the taste or the attraction for hearing the messages of Vasudev. It's so simple. It's actually so simple. Even if you have no interest in reading, if you have no interest in technical things, if you have no interest in philosophy, if you have no interest in spirituality, still you are qualified to hear the messages of Vasudev if you just serve knowingly or unknowingly devotees. Such a powerful tool. Okay, let's read the purport. The conditioned life of a living being is caused by his revolting against the Lord. There are men called devas or godly living beings, and there are men called asurs or demons who are against the authority of the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, a vivid description of the asurs is given, in which it is said that the asurs are put into lower and lower stages of ignorance, life after life, and so sink toward the lower animal forms and have no information of the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. These asurs are gradually rectified to God consciousness by the mercy of the Lord's liberated servitors in different countries according to the supreme will. So what is very interesting here is that according to the laws made by Krishna, these asurs just fall more and more down, birth after birth. Human being, say animal, say insect, say, you keep on degrading lower and lower into animal species down to the aquatics, which is the beginning of animal life. And then they hit rock bottom, according to Krishna. But then what brings them up? What is their hope or what brings them up? Imagine, right from a demigod status, they can fall down if they revolt against the Lord. And they reach the lowest of animals. Forget about even human being or human body. They reach an animal body. And who brings them up from there? Devotees. So भक्त, भगवान से भक्त बड़ा, ये सुना है ना हम सबने? वो कैसे बढ़ा, ये आज समझ में आ रहा है through Prabhupada's purports. Krishna will take his time because he demands in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. First, you abandon all kinds of religion. Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Meri Sharan mein aao. Then he says, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. मैं तुम्हारे सभी पापों को और उनके कार्मिक रिएक्शंस को नष्ट कर दूंगा. Ma Shuchah. Mokshayishyami, I will liberate you. Ma Shuchah, do not fear. But first, what is the condition? Sarva Dharman Parityajya. So जो नहीं सरेंडर कर रहे, जिनको पता ही नहीं है भगवान नाम की कोई चीज भी होती है, उनका उद्धार कैसे होगा? कैसे करेंगे? कैसे होगा?
Devotees
The devotees of the Lord. They are more merciful than the Lord. इसीलिए उनकी सेवा भी भक्त की सेवा भगवान की सेवा के बराबर है. Now, can you understand how valuable it is to serve the devotees? So, these asurs are gradually rectified by the mercy of the Lord's servitors in different countries according to the supreme will. Such devotees of God are very confidential associates of the Lord. And when they come to save human society from the dangers of godlessness, they are known as the powerful incarnations of the Lord, as sons of the Lord, as servants of the Lord, or as associates of the Lord. So many designations for a devotee of the Lord, जो इस दुनिया में भगवान का प्रचार कर रहे हैं. You know, they can be considered incarnations of the Lord, sons of the Lord, servants of the Lord, associates of the Lord. But none of them falsely claim to be God themselves. Everything but God. This is a blasphemy declared by the Asuras, and the demoniac followers of such Asuras also accept pretenders as God or his incarnation. In the revealed scriptures, there is definite information of the incarnation of God. No one should be accepted as God or an incarnation of God unless he is confirmed by the revealed scriptures. So, how do we consider anybody as even the Dashavatars, whom we consider as avatars of the Lord? Matsya, Kurma, Vamandev, Narsimha, Pashuram, all of these avatars have been mentioned in the scriptures before their arrival, before their advent on planet Earth. All the details were given: when they will appear, in which parentage they will appear, in which kul, in which dynasty they will appear, for what specific purpose will they appear. Hence, we consider them the incarnations of the Lord. So, we cannot take anybody, we cannot take this concept of incarnation or avatars very cheaply. Like Prabhupada used to say in Bengal, every gully has an avatar. People had made it so cheap. गांव गांव गली गली अवतार, घर घर अवतार है. ये भी अवतार हैं, वो भी अवतार हैं, ये भी पहुंचे हुए हैं, वो भी पहुंचे हुए हैं. There has to be a cross check, and there has to be a shastric praman, and there has to be qualities that are undeniable or what is that word, which cannot be duplicated or replicated by ordinary human beings. Only such a person can be called as an avatar. So all those who pretend to be gods themselves are actually asuras. The real devotees of the Lord will be so close to the Lord, and yet they will not claim to be equal to the Lord. They will always take a servitor position. Okay. So the servants of God are to be respected as God by the devotees who actually want to go back to Godhead. Servants of God are to be respected as God by the devotees. Such servants are called Mahatmas or Tirthas, and they preach according to a particular time and place. So imagine this word has been given to them. And I was just reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, that Krishna is called Tirth Kirti. What is the meaning of Tirth Kirti? A person who is meant to be glorified in all the places of pilgrimage. Such a person is called Tirth Kirti. So जब भी आप किसी धाम में, किसी भी धाम या तीर्थ स्थान पे जाएं और वहां जाकर it is your duty कि आप वहां पे कृष्ण का, केशव का, गोपाल, मुकुंद का गुणगान करें, कीर्तन करें, उसके नामों का जाप करें. He has to be glorified. His name has to be glorified because he is Tirth Kirti. And यहाँ पे they are saying even the servants of Krishna, the servants of the Lord who actually want to go back are also called tirthas. वो भी तीर्थ स्थान है. जहां पे भक्त बैठ गया, there was a devotee who was very terminally sick. And it was always her desire to leave a body in Vrindavan. And so she was serving in the temple and serving according to Prabhupada's instructions. And she said that, Prabhupada, whenever I feel that I'm too old, I want to come and retire. Do I have your permission? He said, yes, sure. Whenever you feel that now you are too old, come and spend your last days in Vrindavan. And suddenly she became so ill that she could not be given permission even to travel, air travel. So she, in panic, and anguish and lamentation, she wrote a letter to Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, look what has become of me. In my preaching activities, I got so involved that now I've suddenly fallen so sick that I can't even travel and come to Vrindavan Dham. And I'm sure I'll leave my body here. So what will happen to me? Will I ever go back home, back to Godhead? Because I'm not going to leave my body on the holy land of Vrindavan. So Prabhupada wrote back to her, wherever the devotee is staying, that's Vrindavan. Vrindavan comes there. The glories of Vrindavan come to the feet of the devotee. So don't worry, wherever you are, you continue to do your seva and you continue to chant the holy names and you will go back home, back to Godhead for sure. Hence these words, tirthas. Devotees are tirthsthans. Sadhu Sangha is a tirthsthan. Wherever there is bhajan, kirtan happening, that place is a tirthsthan. Even if it is in the pub city of Gurgaon, even if it is next to a pub, and it's happening in a society or in somebody's house where all the devotees have gathered, it should be considered no less than Vrindavan. Such is the value and the glory of a devotee. Okay, so the servants of God urge people to become devotees of the Lord. They never tolerate being called God. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was God himself, according to the indication of the revealed scriptures, yet he played the part of a devotee. People who knew him to be God addressed him as God. You know, the Goswamis, the Panchatattvas who were around him at all times singing, when they would become very ecstatic in love of God, they would say, Jai Krishna, Jai Gaura, say Krishna, say Jagannath. You know? And what would Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He would cover his ears immediately with his hand. No, no, don't call me God. I'm a servant of Radharani. I'm the servant of the Lord. Lord himself. Why did he do that? Because he was really in the mood of a devotee. He was, not only was he behaving like a devotee, he had internalized the mood of a devotee. By his heart and soul, he was completely surrendered in the mood of a devotee. Hence, he couldn't tolerate being called God. This is the indication of a pure devotee of the Lord. They wouldn't tolerate being called, given the designation of the Lord. But people who bask in the glory of being called, God maker. There's so many gurus around without naming them, who enjoy this prestige, this adoration, this title that you are your God themselves, and they enjoy it, they relish it. Such people, the Lord behaves like this so as to warn us against such unscrupulous men who take pleasure in being addressed as God. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to block his ears with his hands and chant the names of Vishnu, Vishnu. He strongly protested against being called God, although undoubtedly he was God himself. So that was a very big lesson for all of us. The servants of God come to propagate God consciousness. And intelligent people should cooperate with them in every respect. So the ball is in our court. Okay, you may not be going out there and preaching, but intelligent people who see that other people are preaching have to cooperate with them. What is the cooperation? Support them, encourage them, and lend a helping hand to them. This is cooperation. So this becomes a moral duty for everyone. To propagate God consciousness, intelligent people should cooperate with them in every respect. By serving the servant of God, one can please God more than by directly serving the Lord. And this is the mood of all advanced devotees. Regardless of what level of devotee comes to them, even if it's a newcomer, a newbie, their mood is to serve. Oh, he's a Krishna devotee, even if he has, come to the temple for the first time, or come to the temple for the second time or third time, they will give him the same time, the same attention, and the same importance as they will give to the other devotees who are there in the temple for years together, or who were initiated. This is the I've noticed this in all Prabhupada's disciples. They have such a seva bhav, including Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada set that example when he was in 26th Avenue in USA. He was preaching to hippies. तो उनके जूठे बर्तन साफ कर रहे थे, उन शराबियों के। उनके बर्तन साफ करना, उनके लिए प्रसाद खुद पकाना, उनको सर्व करना, 70-year-old aged person, making them, because they have no culture. They have not been raised in this culture at all. जो स्वाभाविक रूप से इंडियंस में तो वैसे ही है, that कोई अगर हमें कुछ खिला रहा है तो हम उसे सर्व कर दें, या हम उसे हेल्प कर दें, या or we help him clean up. These hippies or Americans had not been raised in that culture. They would simply come in, listen to the kirtan, eat the food, leave their plates behind, walk out. And Prabhupada cooked and cleaned for many, 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 many weeks. Till one of them or two of them started, coming forward that, oh, can I help you with some of the dishes? You seem to be doing a lot of work. Do you think you need my help? Then they started responding. The point here is that they like to serve. And the Lord is more pleased when he sees that his servants are properly respected, because such servants risk everything for the service of the Lord. So they are very dear to the Lord. He declares in the Bhagavad Gita 18.69 that no one is dearer to him than one who risks everything to preach his glory. By serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants. And thus, one becomes qualified to hear the glories of God. The eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee eligible for entering the kingdom of God. So, another gem in this purport is, by serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants. Okay, so does anybody want the qualities of no alas, no procrastination, no anger, who wants to wake up early in the morning, wants to chant 16 rounds? What is the shortcut way to achieve all this? Serve those devotees who are already practicing the qualities, or who have these qualities. So Krishna is, look at his brilliance. He has designed a solution for every kind of problem. And it's all there. You just have to stretch your hand and use it. It's like going to a chemist shop. And the chemist who is standing there at the pharmacy asks you, kya chahiye? He's just waiting for you to tell him, kya chahiye? Any disease, any dawai you tell him, he gives you, isn't it? But he cannot give you anything if you don't tell him what you want. So all the solutions are there in the Shastra. But we have to raise our hand and ask for what we want. What particular ailment are we struggling with? And then you are given the medicine. So this means that all categories of people, regardless of what intelligence level they have, what background level they have, everybody is qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. The system has been so designed. It's not just Krishna consciousness is only for the intelligent people. It's only for English speaking people. It's only for moderately affluent people. People who have money only can, or at least some amount of money, only can practice Krishna consciousness. Anybody can do it. Those who don't have the means can serve those who are practicing and develop those qualities. So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness, and therefore it is universal. Therefore, it has to be given to the whole world, regardless of country or culture. Okay, any questions before we go to the next one? One point 2.17. Okay. Who would like to repeat after me? Shrinvatam swakatha Krishna.
Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna.
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha.
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha.
Hridiyantastho hyabhadrani.
Hridiyantashobha Abhradhani. Abhradrani.
Hridiyantastho hyabhadrani.
Hridiyantastho Abhradani.
Here, H and Y, ऊपर हिंदी में जब आप देखेंगे, it's here. Here, here Bhadrani.
Here Bhadrani.
हाँ. Vidhunoti Sruhit Satam.
Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam.
Okay, एक बार फिर से करें.
जी.
Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishnaha.
Shrinvatam Shrakatha Krishnaha.
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha.
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha.
Hridayantastho hyabhadrani.
Hridaya Antastho Bhadrani.
Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam.
Vidhunoti Shru Satam.
Okay. Translation. Do you want to read?
Yes. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted.
Okay, can we read this again?
Sure. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted.
Okay, so how many of us now, we have been chanting for some time? We associated with Krishna consciousness, associated with devotees for some time, right? So have you experienced or felt the desires for material enjoyment diminishing from the heart? Could be 0.1%, 0.2, anything. But have you had any personal experience of your desires that earlier you felt were growing, have either stopped where they are or have started going in reverse gear or diminishing?
Yes, Mataji.
Anybody wants
Yes.
to share any experience about that?
Yeah.
Where, how? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Like what I have realized previously, before COVID also, we used to go for a movie once in a week. But after COVID and attending the classes and chanting, my situation is that don't even switch on the TV for a second also now.
Oh,
I don't know what's happened, but these days my kids are saying, "Mama, आप तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं, बिल्कुल TV बंद." Krisha, after coming back from school, she just switches on the TV. I just think क्या waste करना है यार time अपना, क्या करना है?
wow, that's big.
So it's like sometimes my husband also wonders, तुम्हारा ये बड़ा ज़्यादा change हो गया, तुम बिल्कुल भी नहीं TV नहीं, कोई movie नहीं. Like I even don't watch Netflix also. My friends always discussing ये series, वो series. मैं कि I'm not interested in this, please. But this thing what I'm observing in me.
पहले आप देखते थे, you were fond of television earlier?
Very rare. Previously also, but I used to watch this Kapil Sharma and news, and sometimes some episodes और लेकिन अब तो बिल्कुल कुछ भी नहीं.
तो पहले Netflix देखते थे?
नहीं Netflix तो पहले भी नहीं, but COVID में जैसे we had time also, like lot of people have covered series and all, then also I didn't realize कि हाँ देखना चाहिए. मुझे लिंक भी भेजे गए मेरे फ्रेंड्स ने, ये देखो तुम, ये देखो, ये करो, but नहीं, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of time saving.
Yeah, I feel that it's a time saving.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to share anything? Anjali, do you want to share anything? Yes.
This thing has hit home very strongly. What last 2-3 classes repeatedly, rather before that also, ever since I got into this, death is around the corner. It is coming rushing towards us. तो उसके इसमें ना I have started feeling कि okay, जो काम, duties, responsibilities हैं वो खत्म करो. Rather, I mean, whatever I feel as a mother, as a wife, as a person, whatever domestic or whatever जो भी duties हैं, तो जल्दी खत्म करो, because you really don't know, death might be around the corner. And then फिर वही खाली हाथ आए हैं, खाली हाथ जाएंगे, तो फिर what are we, collecting everything for? I don't know. I mean, not that my family agrees with all this. This is a bone of contention amongst me and them. But as this change I'm seeing in myself.
Death conscious. So not very enamored by the body and its possessions. Yeah, that is a reality. आप और मैं जिस मोड़ पे खड़े हैं, हमें तो ज्यादा clearly दिख रहा है. Others तो अभी they still have to reach the top of the hill, so probably. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else? You feel there is a change?
चेंज तो आया है, बहुत चेंज आया है मेरे में भी. पहले जो मतलब थिंकिंग थी बिल्कुल टोटली एकदम रिवर्स हो गया बिल्कुल ना. जैसे काफी अब जो मटेरियल चीजों में इतना मन नहीं लगता. कोई बोलता भी है ना, सुन लेते हैं और ऊपर से उसको हम अडॉप्ट नहीं करते अब चीजों को ना. बस लगता है कि जल्दी से ये जो भी समझ लो ड्यूटीज हैं, कोई आता है बात करता है तो आपको करना पड़ता है, पर लगता है कि जल्दी से मतलब खत्म हो ये गपशप और हम अपने मतलब इतना सब है, पढ़ने के लिए टाइम ही नहीं मिलता ये सब सोचने के लिए। फ्रेंड्स का भी फोन आता है ना, अब मैंने देखा मैं बेमन से बात करती हूँ कि बस मुझे बात करनी है बस, इसलिए मतलब अंदर से मैं मन से मतलब जो मटेरियल फ्रेंड्स हैं उन लोगों से ना, जो बाहर से मम्मी भी, मेरी मम्मी सिस्टर सब फोन करते हैं, लेकिन इतना अब उसमें ना डेप्थ में नहीं जाते। जब तक कुछ अच्छी बात हो रही होती है ठीक है, अगर इधर उधर की बात होती है तो मन नहीं लगता बिल्कुल ना। ये तो बहुत बड़ा चेंज आया हम लोगों में ना,
हरी
रिवर्स गेयर लग गया है। हाँ हाँ
Hari. So Prajalpa is not interesting anymore.
या yes.
कृष्ण कथा सुनाओ, वो ज्यादा मीठी लग रही है।
और लाइक भारती सेट, मैंने भी बहुत दिनों से पिक्चर कोई हॉल पे नहीं देखी और मेरा मन भी नहीं करता अब कभी भी जाने। कभी कभी अनुष्का को अकेले जाना पड़ता है, लेकिन मैं नहीं जाती साथ, क्योंकि मेरे को इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है मूवीज वगैरह में। घर पे फिर भी कभी कभी लगा लेते हैं, लेकिन बाहर तो मैं बिल्कुल नहीं जाती है।
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, Anu, your hand is up.
Yeah. I also wanted to share that I don't see a way change in material desires as in buying clothes are concerned for sure, but but yeah, the understanding of life has gone deep, and vision is very clear. And as Bharti said, Bharti said, TV is a big no. वो पहले भी नहीं था, अभी भी नहीं है. And as Vinu said, that now I'm less into gossiping. Though, see, if I'm out in the society, I have to hear that, but I don't retain it inside. I just, it enters from here and goes out from here only. It is a complete, something, I have become a surface wherein it comes and goes back. I don't retain it, or neither do I mind anybody saying anything about me. It's okay. I mean, I've started taking those gossips and prajalpa very lightly, and I feel that it's all trash. I should not retain it or even let it enter me. So yeah, that's a change I feel. And instead, if someone, I don't talk about Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela, or anything what we do to everybody. But yes, now I've started understanding very clearly that where and when I have to speak. So I keep quiet, though being a part of society also, I keep quiet. I speak only when it is like required, or I do full on masti for sure. I'm going to do garba and all, सब कुछ ट्रेनिंग के लिए भी जा रहा है, क्लास के सेशंस भी होते हैं, शाम में भी प्रैक्टिस, दोपहर नहीं 4:30 5:30 whenever the practices are there, I do go. I do enjoy it full on, but I don't get into anything which is troublesome. I don't let anything enter me. That's the basic. I have become a robust personality. It never affects me anymore.
Okay, that's nice, very nice.
So, and anger, I don't know. Sometimes I get irritated. Yes, anger also comes, but it has reduced to its minimum.
So what you're trying to say is your tolerance has increased.
Yeah. Tolerance and acceptance of accepting the persons as they are, because I have no authority to change them. Neither they are going to change with what I will say. So cool, stay calm.
Yes.
YG also wrote in a chat, I am becoming less angry and more calm than before. A sense of forgiveness is there as opposed to revenge. Hare Krishna.
Wow, how wonderful is that? That's a big change. Hey, YG, you didn't board your flight, man. Flight late ho gayi aapki lagta hai?
No, I'm there. It is going to start shortly.
Excellent. So,
Yes, I also want to share.
yes, please. Yes, please.
As everyone says, no, the same. बहुत सारी जगह पे filter लग गया अब. Now we know what to take in and what not to take. जैसे खाना हो गया, what to eat, what not to eat, what to
मुंह में
hear,
सबसे बड़ा फिल्टर मुंह में लग गया.
मुंह पे लग गया, what to
हाँ,
hear, what not to hear, क्या बात करे क्या ना करे,
कानों
सब
में
जगह पे फिल्टर अपने आप लग गए अब.
आंखों में भी,
सभी पे
कानों
लग गए.
में भी,
सब
मुंह में
सब
भी.
चीज़ पे लग गए.
Yeah, and you can see that we are getting detoxed with all that healthy food because we have started filtering what we hear, what we see, what we speak, what we smell. So you can see the condition of your body must have become healthier than what it was before, body and mind. So, yeah, so this means the point that we were coming to, as the translation of this verse says, that proves. So, this is again another proof of the Shastra, that they know the science of happiness. So, better listen to them if you really want to be happy. What are they saying? That Paramatma or Krishna, who is in everyone's heart and who is a benefactor, matlab well-wisher, blesser of the truthful devotee, he cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. The only qualification that is needed is an urge or an interest to hear about him. And all of you are fully qualified in that because you are again and again coming to hear about him, about his messages, about his glories. So, like in the previous verse, agar aapne padha ho, in the purport, in the previous verse, it said that the eagerness to hear about God, the last line, the eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee who is eligible for entering the kingdom of God. Hari bol. So the good news is all of you have become eligible to enter the kingdom of Golok Vrindavan. Hari bol. Isn't that great news? Yes, I mean, and why are we so confident about it? Because it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the pristine, spotless Puran. All right. So, messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, are non-different from him. So what we are reading right now on our screen should be taken as Krishna himself, whom you can touch, see, read. Whenever, therefore, offenseless hearing and glorification of God are undertaken, it is to be understood that Lord Krishna is present there in the form of transcendental sound, which is as powerful as the Lord personally. And we are doing a similar verse in the Bhagavad Gita last week. Yes, what did we do in the verse? Which verse was it, first of all? 7 point?
7.7.
0.7.
7.
अतः प्रतरम नान्यत् किंचिदस्ति धनंजय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोक्तं सूत्रे मणिगणा एव.
Nahi, we have,
Yeah.
That is what, yeah, 7.7.
But we crossed this, right?
Yes.
We crossed it and
So we had come to Rasoham Apsu. That he's saying, I am the taste of water.
Yes.
Water.
Huh? I am
Yes, and the taste.
I
of
am
water.
Prabhasmi Shashi Suryoho. Then Pranavaha. I am sound. Sarva Vedeshu. Shabdaha Khe Paurusham Rishu. I am Om. I am Pranava. I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. And I am the Shabdaha. K, I am the sound in ether. K is ether. Space. So I am the sound vibration in space. And then also Paurusham Nrishu. I'm also the ability in Nar, Nrishu. So the same thing he's saying again in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Here in this verse. That he is present in the form of sound, which is as powerful as Krishna himself. So if we offenselessly, even once, close our eyes and with all our hearts say Krishna, he is present there, right there, as sound vibration. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtak declares clearly that the holy name of the Lord has all the potencies of the Lord, and that he has endowed his innumerable names with the same potency. All the power and kripa that Krishna himself can give when he appears himself, he has put all of that in the sound of his name for the unfortunate people of Kali Yuga. So all you need to do is vibrate his name and Krishna is present there. So imagine a place where, tens of hundreds of people together are chanting the names of Krishna in a congregation. How strong Krishna's presence would be in that place. That's why they say that you must sit in Kirtan. Because so many together are chanting the holy names of Krishna. That vibration, that presence of Krishna becomes so much more potent that it can purify you then and there. Then and there. Overnight you can change. There is no rigid fixture of time. And anyone can chant the holy name with attention and reverence at his convenience. So much flexibility. Just imagine, no rigid fixture of time. This is such a big flexibility that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. And then anyone can chant. Dogs, cats, कितने सारे वीडियोस अब हम देख रहे हैं. तोता, हर कोई बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा है. All of them can be given this holy name. The Lord is so kind to us that he can be present before us personally in the form of transcendental sound. But we are so unfortunate that we have no taste for hearing and glorifying the Lord's name and activities. Free में जगन्नाथ रथ यात्रा निकल रही है, तब भी people don't want to stand and listen to the names of the Lord. They would prefer to hear a song on YouTube or something else, but no taste. Itna simple kar diya. Still, we have already discussed developing a taste for hearing and chanting the holy sound. It is done through the medium of service to the pure devotee of the Lord. If you do not have a taste for hearing, or you want to increase your taste of hearing and chanting, again, what is the next secret that has been revealed here by Srila Prabhupada? If you want to increase your interest in Krishna consciousness, you want to increase your
service to the pure devotee of the Lord.
Seva. So in the previous couple of classes, if you have noticed the stress on that one class that we didn't post on the group, what was the discussion there? All we lack is service. We are hearing enough classes, we are chanting whatever we can, but service is the only missing link to go to the next level. Remember, we discussed that? And service on a niyamit basis, nitya seva, regular, like YG was saying, her cousin or some cousin who chants the Vishnu Sahasranama regardless of बारिश है, ठंड है, गर्मी है, बीमार है, ठीक है. This is called niyam. And niyam is so dear to the Lord. I remember I read in Leelamrit of Srila Prabhupada that in Vrindavan there was a lady who was otherwise a regular karmakandi, but she had one niyam of going to the river every day, filling a pot of fresh Yamuna water and bringing it to the temple to bathe the deities. This was her seva. And slowly the devotees around started noticing that she doesn't miss a single day. Even if it's raining, they would see her going in the rain, drenched, filling the water pot, bringing it to the temple, and then going back. And whether it was whether she was ill, she was invalid, she couldn't walk, she did her seva. And then one fine day she died. And then they brought news to Prabhupada. Oh, Prabhupada, you remember that lady that we always used to talk about and we used to see also, who used to fetch water for the deities? She passed away yesterday. And how did we find out? Because that pot of water didn't reach the temple on that day, on time. And everybody was surprised that, oh, this always reaches on time. Aaj kya ho gaya? Pata chala. And what did Prabhupada say? Jai, she has gone back home, back to Godhead. Just on the strength of that one service, which she did without missing a single day. This is the point we are trying to make here is Nitya Niyam. What you do as a daily practice is crucial to your success in going back home, back to Godhead, regardless of your condition. So, and devotees have proved this again and again and again by their example and behavior. Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has had such a major surgery, not once, but multiple times. Practically his liver had collapsed. He had a new liver transplant. And he had to be put in coma for maybe a week or maybe a couple of days. And the moment he came into consciousness in the ICU and he opened his eyes, he still has tubes all inside his nose, mouth, everywhere, chest, here, there, tubes inside his whole body. And he can't speak because there's a tube in his mouth. And of course, he's in pain. The moment he opens his eyes, comes out of anesthesia, what does he do? He asks for his chanting back. And lying there on the bed, he starts chanting. And then they notice that he had to be in the hospital much longer, post-surgery also. And then the devotees noticed that he's hardly sleeping. He's chanting day, he's chanting night. And then they asked him that, Maharaj, take some rest. You know, you need to sleep. Why are you chanting so much? He said, I have to catch up for those 5 or 6 days that you put me to sleep when I could not chant. I have promised my Guru Maharaj, I have to not only cover those up, but as a paschatap, I'm going to do 500 rounds more. And he did it in the hospital itself, with all those tubes inside his body. This is the value of niyam. He could not tolerate कि 5 दिन मेरा niyam disturb हुआ. This has a very big value. These details, going in detail, is very, very important. It's very crucial to success. It's the key ingredient in the recipe of success. So any small niyam you can adopt and then just see to it that you do it till the end of life. And our biggest and smallest and most important niyam is chant your holy names of the Lord. 16 rounds every single day.
no backups, no backlogs, no carry forwards, no banks. That day, the day in which you woke up and the day in which you will sleep, your 16 rounds have to finish in that day. One simple seva if you can do. I remember Loknath Swami Maharaj saying in COVID, he said, मुझे 50 साल हो गए. And he was saying it not out of pride, but very humbly, his own, as a realization, he was sharing it. That I have been chanting for 50 years, 50. जब से प्रभुपाद ने हमें दीक्षा दी है, और मुझे नहीं याद आ रहा कि मैंने एक भी दिन अपनी चैंटिंग मिस की है. Wow, that's just this one niyam is your ticket to go back home, back to God. Okay. So I think I should stop here. Should we finish the purport or what should we do? Okay, let's finish the purport. There is no rigid fixture of time. Anyone can chant the holy name with attention and reverence at his convenience. The Lord is so kind to us that he can be present before us personally in the form of transcendental sound. But unfortunately, we have no taste for hearing and glorifying the Lord's name and activities. We have already discussed developing a taste for hearing and chanting the holy sound. It is done through the medium of service to the pure devotees of the Lord. The Lord is reciprocally respondent to his devotees. When he sees that the devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to the service of the Lord and has thus become eager to hear about him, he acts from within the devotee in such a way that the devotee may easily go back to him. The Lord is more anxious to take us back into his kingdom than we can desire. Most of us do not desire at all to go back to Godhead. Only a few men want to go back. But anyone who desires to go back, Krishna helps in all respects. One cannot enter the kingdom of God unless one is perfectly cleared of all sins. The material sins are products of our desires to lord it over material nature. It's very difficult to get rid of such desires. Women and wealth are very difficult problems for the devotee making progress on the path back to Godhead. Many stalwarts in the devotional line fell victim to these allurements of women and wealth and thus retreated from the path of liberation. But when one is helped by the Lord himself, the whole process becomes as easy as anything by the divine grace of the Lord. To become restless in the contact of women and wealth is not an astonishment, because every living being is associated with such things from remote time, practically immemorial. And it takes time to recover from this foreign nature. But if one is engaged in hearing the glories of the Lord, gradually he realizes his real position. By the grace of God, such a devotee gets sufficient strength to defend himself from the state of disturbances. And gradually all disturbing elements are eliminated from his mind. Clear? So this is from a man's point of view, women and wealth. From a woman's point of view, it's attachment to family and children. So wherever it's written wealth and women, we can convert that to what is our weakness, our attachment areas. We don't want to let go of control of the house, even after the children are married and have their own children and have their own family life. Yet we want to be in control and manage their lives for them or keep control. Yes, and that's the cause of our problems. You can see our previous generation suffering because of this. They don't want to let go, right? But this disease can be cured if you just chant every day without missing a single day. So simple, so simple. So we will chant every day. We will not miss a single day.
and we will chant our prescribed rounds. Okay? And as seva, we will distribute books, which is the most dearmost seva to Srila Prabhupada. He said, if you love me, distribute my books. He said that multiple times. If you really care about me, my instructions, and feel gratitude for what I have given you, distribute my books. Okay? So take your pledge and let's distribute his books, because if we catch Prabhupada's attention and if we please him, our path is clear of going back home, back to God, because he's a pure devotee of the Lord. And if you please and serve a pure devotee of the Lord, all success is automatically guaranteed by the Lord himself. Okay? Hare Krishna.